Yes, people, my lions and my lambs. Are you okay? Joe, I can't believe you missed the show. Your record is blemished, but you can make it back up. I'm in a mad mood again tonight. I don't know what it is. I think it's Saturdays bring out the madness in me. Soulful Saturday. Okay, I'm going to kick off with a haiku. It's a Saturday night haiku. Sing, dance, reflecting. Surprise weekend snaky vibes. Gig tails or porridge. Thanks, Stella, for that. That's your first one, isn't it? Is it? I think it's brilliant anyway. That'll kick us off. And I think tonight's theme is going to be positivity. I think I played on an album called Positivity once. Levine Hudson. Beautiful, beautiful British soul gospel singer, really. Fantastic. I haven't thought about her for a long time. Now, I thought we'd start with a twist. I mean, a real twist. We're going to twist the night away. If reincarnation was real or is real, you know, I'd come back as Sam Cooke, but without the getting shot by a club owner at the age of 33 bit. I might miss that bit. So you're going to twist? I reckon you could twist with a gin and tonic in one hand or a glass of wine. I wonder if I could twist with a saxophone. I practiced the lyric, but I haven't actually practiced the dancing. All right, we'll have a go. You got to be with me. Sing with me. I've never sung this. Yeah. about a place somewhere up in New York way, where the people are so gay, twisting the night away. Here they have a lot of fun, putting trouble on the run. Man, you find the old and young, twisting the night away. Come on, they're twisting, twisting. Everybody's feeling great. They're twisting, twisting. They're twisting the night away. Here's a man in evening clothes. How he got there, I don't know, but man, you ought to see him go, twisting the night away. He's dancing with the chicken slacks. She's moving up and back now. Oh man, there ain't nothing like twisting the night away. Yeah, twisting, twisting, twisting the night away. Yeah, twisting, twisting, yeah, twisting the night away. Here's a fella in blue jeans, dancing with an older queen, who's dolled up in the diamond rings and twisting the night away. Man, you ought to see her go, twisting through the rock and roll. Here you find the young and old, they're twisting the night away. Oh, twisting, twisting, everybody's feeling great. They're twisting, twisting, they're twisting the night away. We're off. Oh man. Sam Cooke. How dare I? I shouldn't have. King of Soul, they called him. Some people said that he was the inventor of soul music. He was the first in many ways. And, Marvin Gaye and Aretha, Otis Redding, they all followed on. And like so often with the story with great soul singers, he started as a singer in a gospel choir. Sorry. And moved over into secular music. That's the story, not only in soul music, that's so often the story. It's when I'm telling you about the shakuhachi, it's the same thing through Zen Buddhism into secular music. Fantastic. And so many great songs from Sam Cooke. Might move on to another ones, because I think we're still here for a few weeks, eh? Well, we've got Cupid, Chain Gang, Wonderful World, Change is Gonna Come. I wouldn't touch that. Maybe on a sax I would. Happy days. So, the aftermath of Joe's birthday wasn't too bad, really. I mean, he seems fine today. And we hit 1,000 subscribers last night, and I was pleased that that happened on his birthday. And but he's on my case, I don't know where we're going next. 5,000. And he showed me a channel, as an example to me, I think. And this guy makes useless and pointless robots. That's all he does on his YouTube channel. So I said, well, Joe, how many subscribers has he got? He said, well, it's over 3 million. And I thought, So he says, I'm being too normal, just playing the sax in an ordinary way, like what it's designed for, a musical instrument. I think he thinks, well, I know he thinks that we need some abstract weirdness. I need to use the sax for stuff that it wasn't really meant for. And I might have to ask you guys for thoughts on that. I mean, the shakuhachi's not too bad. Shakuhachi, do you remember that? We usually see it and hear it and meet it on a Sunday night. It's got that kind of knobbly bit on the end. It's quite good for scratching your back. Oh, that's good. And if you're in the car, you remember those things, cars. And I have it by my side. Oh no, I shouldn't be saying this. If there's a massive traffic jam, I'll play it, but you're not allowed to do that, so I don't do that. But if it happens to be in the car, then you can keep your eyes on the road and kind of bring your sandwich box nearer to your feet so you can pick it up without taking your eyes off the road. And it's also that knobbly bit that's good for whacking people over the head because it's quite tough there. And historically, I don't do this, but historically it was used as a weapon by the nomadic Zen monks. So maybe if we had an episode where we didn't play any music, and cause I've got two of these shakuhachis, and me and Joe had one each, and we sort of battered each other over the head until one of us died. I bet that would get loads of subscribers in, wouldn't we, Joe? Oh, I don't know. But the sax, I don't know. I meant to try this, but I never did. But I think I once saw somebody making it look like a fireman's helmet somehow. I don't know, I need to practice. And I had a really good friend over in Manchester. Such a good friend that I can't remember his name, but that is my age. And he was telling me once that he was in a show where he wasn't allowed to leave the stage. Some of those stage shows are very strict. And he was poorly and he had to use it as a sick bucket, but I don't think that's the kind of thing Joe's thinking of either. Sorry, I shouldn't have really shared that with you. I shouldn't have shared it with myself either. So yeah, things that we could do. Here we go. 101 alternative uses of musical instruments. Yeah, you know what? I'll just keep playing. That's good advice from whoever said that. Midge, maybe. Snakeheads at home. Sax is better than robots. Yeah, but how are we going to get up to 1 million subscribers? I'm happy with 1,000 myself. So I think with a bit of luck, Stuart Collingwood, the Geordie King, is waiting in the wings. I'm going to play a tune called The Cat by Jimmy Smith. Let's see. Are you there, mate? He's there. Good boy. Thank you, Stuart. Stuart Collingwood. Stu Piano, I think, is his handle. You find him on the internet, and he does or he will do again when we rise from the smoke. A lovely gig with a trio in a bar called Charts. That's it, Charts, on the riverside of Newcastle. Sunday afternoon, a nice relaxed time to be listening to a bit of jazz. And Jimmy Smith. And that distorted sound, that's supposed to be distorted. It's, his instrument is like a modern recreation of the famous Hammond B3 Hammond organ. And what a beast that is, both sonically and structurally. And every soul band used to have a Hammond organ. It's that sound, that Booker T sound. And Jimmy Smith was the absolute king of jazz Hammond B3. And probably wouldn't have noticed because we only see about that much of Stuart. But beneath the surface, he's paddling away like a swan, doing the bass pedals. And I don't know how you do that. 2 hands and 2 feet going. Incredible. And Jimmy Smith, he died in 2005, I think, and he was still doing gigs into his 80s. He was either about 80 or about 83 because there's some discrepancy about when he was born. It was either 1925 or 1928. Anyway, there's a lot of discrepancy about when I was born. I think it's about 40 years ago. I'm in a mad mood. So, going back to Joe's point about, it's going to get a bit boring, Dad, if you blow down the sax and play music. What else can you do with it? And it's a bit easier when you get to reeds, rather than remove one. I'll show you. Instinctively I'll lick it because they don't work unless they're moist. But I don't need to use it. I just want to, it's for illustration purposes. That little bit of cane, that bamboo reed is what is causing all the racket, really. And they are quite useful for other things, like, for example, eating your hummus with, or I don't know if you're as terrible as me, and would you ever consider just opening a jar of peanut butter and spooning it up? No, you're more couth than me. I'm uncouth. It's quite good for that. And there was a lovely story from the Basie band. But if you imagine the saxophone section with Johnny Hodges on one end, and a message went right down through the altos, through the tenors to Harry Carney on the baritone sax, saying, "Oh, Johnny wants to borrow one of your baritone sax reeds." And he went, "Okay." Sent it back up the line, and Johnny Hodges started digging into a tub of ice cream with the reed. I hope that's true. I think it is. I read it in a book. And the reeds, they make quite good labellers for plants, like in your tomato plants or your peppers. And this is, of course, once you've had months of great service out of them, the Diodario Select Jazz, beautiful, fine piece of cane. But they also make good kindling for the fire. But I also don't really think this is what Joe had in mind. What have you guys been up to? Mike's loving the Hammond organ sound. Sally's in conversation with somebody about, I was a bit short of time today, and so I just didn't put a shirt on. Be back in one of Sally's shirts tomorrow. She has been busy making masks, which I suppose is, well, I don't suppose, I flipping know, it's far more important making masks for Driffield Medical Centre than it is making shirts for Snaky Boy. Absolutely. Is the sax man from Hornsey here? That would be Rick Davis. I don't know I haven't seen his name pop up. But, he dips in and out. Sometimes he's late and has to catch up on catch up. Dave from Devon's been practicing, but back, and I'm missing it. For some reason I can only see the beginning of sentences. But back something. Oh, he's back. I guess he's saying he's back. You're back. Dave, you're back. Oh, mate. And we should have been going down to Granada, shouldn't we? But let's not even talk about that, because we'll go another time. We will go another time. That's good. There's loads of you in the Yaks here, and Chris Folks here, and Ian Stewart is here. Oh yeah, Ian lives just round the corner, and just after we came off air last night was a power cut. And poor old Joe, it's his birthday. He was going to hit a movie. It was something he really wanted to hit on the computer anyway. And the power cut. Just after we cut the cake, somebody cut the power. And then later on, the water went off as well. So not only could he not watch his thing, whatever it was, he couldn't have a shower before bed. And with Joe, that's pretty serious. So that seemed a bit harsh on your birthday. You can't operate your computer or have a shower, but it's life. And we had power and water today. Easington, what are you talking about there? Yeah. The Reverend Danny's in from Easington near Loftus. Georgie Fame, yeah, he was a Hammond player. And do you want to know about my Hammond injury? Because I was saying, back in the day, every soul band had to have a Hammond organ. So I've been a part owner of 2 or 3 Hammond organs, B3 and L100, and they're absolute beasts. And those of you who have come to see me live, you'll know that I'm quite often the band leader, and as such, it seems to go with the territory. I'm the first man in and the last man out, and if necessary, if we're doing smaller gigs, I bring the flipping PA, and if it's absolutely necessary, I'll shove some lights in and everything. I'm like a donkey with all this stuff. And so at the time when I was a part owner of the Hammond organ, it sort of lived with me because I owned the van. And it's bad enough getting it up flipping fire escapes and down piers, because we used to do a lot of soul gigs down the bottom of piers. Not so much now. And, obviously you can't drive your van down the pier. You have to wheel the flipping Hammond organ down the pier. It's ridiculous, isn't it? So I'd be the last man home with the van, and I didn't like to leave the Hammond organ in the van for security, so I'd offload it into the garage. And offloading a Hammond organ on your own, man, that's really hard. So if you look carefully there, I haven't shaved actually, I've got a lump there, which has been for 24 years. That's a Hammond organ injury. Yeah, suffer for your art. Yeah. Oh dear. So I was involved in a charity event today, and did a short set in a festival for Motor Neuron Disease Association down in Plymouth. And the amazing thing was I didn't have to drive to Plymouth. Because otherwise I might have said, well, I've got to get back for an evening show, so I think I'm going to have to send you a couple of signed CDs instead. But I could just do it from home. My first virtual festival. Strange, but good. Not having to drive to Plymouth and back for a 40-minute slot is good. So I think that went all right. I never watch him back. So I'm never sure. Let's have some more music. It's a tune called, we spoke about Otis Redding a little bit ago, didn't we? And, no, I didn't know that my new album got a mention in the Yorkshire Post today. Oh, Sally's already chimed in. Hope it was something good. So I'm not going to look now, in case it wasn't. Not going to look at the chat anymore. We talked about Otis Redding a bit ago, and I think I played this tune 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I've forgotten when I played it, so hopefully you'll have forgotten as well. And anyway, sometimes repetition is not a bad thing. Music is full of repetition, and you can't really have too much of Otis Redding's music. So this is going to be hard to handle. Yes, it is. That was a blast. That's a lineup that I had a fair few years ago. Once again, hammered organ and a wonderful John Ellis on the hammered organ, Manchester boy. And Errol Roberts on the drums, Stevie Williams on the bass guitar. Oh, yeah. I can't even remember what album that came out on. Oh, maybe Wonderful World. Long deleted, but I think it's now available as a download. Yeah, it is. I know it is. So, I'm going to see what you've been saying. Sewing dog fluffy blankets for the beds. That's the dog beds, I guess. So I imagine that the album that was being reviewed or mentioned was that one, the latest album, Time Stands Still. And there are many things that I miss about doing the gigs this way. I mean, I don't miss those big long drives to Plymouth and back, but I miss kind of, seeing you all out and shaking your hands and giving you a smile and a hug and a how you doing and a little mini catch up. I miss that. And I'm like you, Danny. I like doing the vicar thing and standing by the door and seeing folks out. And I miss having the CD table in the interval. I miss the sales, obviously, but that's another little opportunity for a catch up. And the chat is great. I really enjoy that, but it's really not a perfect substitute for seeing you guys in the flesh. But that'll come later in the year. And meanwhile, although there's no merchandise table, you can always rush to the website after the gig and buy CDs there. And, what are you saying now? Yorkshire Post? I don't want to know. Oh, you're having a right old chat, you lot. Oh, you mentioned Zoot and the Roots. Somebody's mentioned Zoot and the Roots. I don't know if, obviously somebody does remember Zoot and the Fruits. Zoot and the Roots, which is a soul band. We had a 9-piece, 8-piece, 9-piece band with the 3-piece horn section. And that was such good fun. We had such lovely gigs. And I had sad news yesterday. I heard that Frankie, the trombone player, also affectionately known as Uncle Bastard, he passed away. So that was just been writing to his son today. Also a great musician. But that was sad news for any Zoot and the Roots fans out there. And Joe wanted me to say to you guys, big thank you for cards and beer and money that somebody sent to him. He appreciated that, and he hasn't drunk it all yet. And positivity, the theme for today. The music's pretty positive, and the banter needs to be. And it's become almost a bit of a cliche, but not in a bad way. People are talking a lot about. Obviously, there's a lot of bad stuff that comes from the bug, but there's a lot of good stuff as well. And in a small, trifling way, really, but to me, it was a big deal. Now, about 6 or 7 years ago, my very kind neighbour gave me a couple of bikes that were surplus to requirements. And they were decent bikes as well. I kind of did them up. One was Sally-sized, and one was Joe-sized. And I never rode them, hardly. So I've just got, what's coming. I just got them out again. And even though Joe's size is now different, I must have had the saddle right down in early days, and now put it right up, and it's still Joe-sized. And we actually went with a family bike ride. Awesome. All the way to Oldsby and back. Happy days. I really like that. That was good. I thought I might switch saxophone. I've been hogging the tenor. Oh, going right back hours and hours ago, at the beginning of the show, I played Twisting for you, and you're all giving it that. The Sam Cooke song, and I told you that I'd never attempted it before, and so I was listening to it today, and listening to the words and everything, and getting the words written down because my memory is rubbish. And then there's 2 sax breaks, one at the beginning, one at the end. But I thought, that's easy enough. I'll just blast away in whatever key it's in. But actually, that middle solo, it's so cute that I actually wrote that out as well. And look, there it is. Look, real proper music. I don't know who played it. It's really cheeky, sort of yakety solo. And then I put it on a music stand. I couldn't see it; it was too far away. So I used a wonderful gadget and affixed it to the lead from the microphone. And I happen to have some clothes pegs. You don't really need to know all this. I'll play some music in a minute, honestly, I promise. I happen to have some clothes pegs on the music stand because we were out playing You'll Never Walk Alone to coincide with the clapping for the carers on Thursday, which is a wonderful duet for alto sax and tuba. Another good thing to come out of the isolation. Right, I promised music, so I'm going to switch from the tenor. To the alto. Now I just saw a message flash up. It's disappeared now, but it was from my mate Phil Udall, my benefactor. And I see you're talking amongst yourselves anyway. But yeah, with luck and a fair wind, one of the first gigs, but when we're back out of isolation, will be a lovely village hall near Stokesley called Great Broughton Village Hall. Well, I do love a juicy village hall. So we're going to do a couple of nights there. And Phil is in the chat there telling you how to get tickets, I believe. Also, Rick Davis is here. Sally Anderson was asking for you, Rick. So you're both in the chat. You can... yeah, I know King Curtis played on a lot of them, and it sort of sounds King Curtis-y, but you can't believe Wikipedia, though, can you? So it probably was. I'd like to think it was. Anyway, it's written out now, Rick, so you can have it. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Great Broughton Village Hall. See you there. Be there or be square. That's where we could all meet up after lockdown. July, middle of July. So here I am on the alto. I want to play a tune for you called Lonely Boy. It's Andrew Gold. It's an 80s classic. I'm going to play it all on the sax, but once again, as I was telling you, I often have the lyrics in front of me, and it's such a kind of strange, bitter song. It's a crazy lyric. It's about the jealousy of a young man, really, he was an only son, an only child, but only for 2 years until his sister came along, and then he got upset. And the whole song's about that, really. I won't read you all the lyrics, but I'm going to read you some. He was born on a summer's day, 1951, and with the slap of a hand, he had landed as an only son. His mother and father said, "What a lovely boy. We'll teach him what we learned." Ah, yes, what we learned. We'll dress him up warmly and we'll send him to school. Teach him how to fight to be nobody's fool. Oh, what a lonely boy, he sings. And then in the summer of 53, his mother brought him a sister. She told him, "We must attend to her needs. She's so much younger than you." Well, he ran down the hall and he cried. How could his parents have lied when they said he was an only son? He thought he was the only one. That kind of gives you the whole flavour, really. Oh, dark. But he kicked out some great tunes, Andrew Gold. So I'll have a go at this. And you'll be singing along in the chorus, I know, and dancing. And so this is a more recent band. This is Paul Birchall on the keyboards, and he has a solo on his synthesizer in the middle of this. And it was Ali Tyne on the drums, and of course the one and only Simon Goulding on the bass guitar. I think this must have come out on an album as well, but I don't know which one. I know nothing. I never listened to my albums. boys were getting excited then. Sorry, I think that was distorting a little bit, wasn't it? Saturday night, it doesn't matter. It's better than being too quiet. Out of condition. Maybe that bike ride is too much for me. So, positivity. It's quite a thought-provoking time, and we have time to think. We hear a lot about trying to stay positive, don't we? But a huge part of being a musician is just that anyway. We've had plenty of practice. Our careers kind of involve a constant lowering of goals and expectations as we proceed, and lots of hanging on in and making the best of things. So we're used to it, and that whole thing about glass half full, half empty. We just celebrate there's anything in the glass at all, even a little drop. So we're all remaining pretty chirpy, I think, and even though we're not making any money, we say stuff like, it's brilliant not have to do those 2,000 miles a week and drive to Plymouth and back, and I've got so much time to practice, and I'm just getting on with that project that I never thought I'd finish. So remaining positive. I've heard other people saying that they're dreaming more. You finding that you're dreaming lockdown dreams? Dreaming more and in a different way. And I heard an explanation of it, that this is more to do with the people who are furloughed or sadly not working at all, because they're getting more sleep. But musicians always got plenty of time to sleep. So it's not that. But I've been dreaming different. I had a Northern Soul dream the other night. It involved a DJ. It's a fictitious one, because I can still picture him when I woke up, and it's none of the ones that I know. I think it might have loosely been based on Ginger Taylor, but it wasn't him. This fella came from Rochdale, which is not far from where Ginger Taylor lives, actually. And he was also a singer, and he was asking me for a bit of advice and stuff. And Corinne from Swing Out Sister, she was in the same dream. And then the best thing was, the next day Sally said, I've been dancing in my sleep. Which was good to hear. Yeah. Good to hear. Dancing in your sleep. There's a song title right there. Oh, it's probably been done. So a couple of soul songs to finish, eh? Oh, I should see what you're saying. I said I wouldn't look at your chat, but I will. Ooh, you're saying lots. Kevin's back. Brilliant. Good to see you, Kevin. I like it that you feel bad if you miss one. That's brilliant. John and Joan, they've never missed one. Joe's now missed one. Hey, look, it's optional. Dip in and out, guys. Ernie Wood's back. He's missed a few. Sue Usher's not missed many. Lindsay's not missed many. And Kevin he's been here most of the time, and Sharon. Love my fans. Love you guys. Celia Wood, she's a regular. Proper regular. Oh yeah, Rick Davis, he's a sax historian, I reckon, and he's checked Wikipedia as well, and he came up with John Ewing or Jewel Grant. I don't think it was Jewel Grant, because he was credited baritone sax player on it. So yeah, we could just pretend it's King Curtis. It's very King Curtis-y. Right, everybody's telling us to shut up, Rick, and stop being saxophone nerds. So, oh yes, I'm glad you reminded me, Joe. Saxophone workshop at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tomorrow will be a bit of this and a bit of that. We're going to talk about soloing a little bit, and just pick up a couple of points from last week about reading music and keeping your place and keeping up with the band and that kind of thing, and a bit of question and answer, and all nice and relaxed. Kevin Lee, I'm dreaming that I can play that tenor sax that I got for my birthday. I'm still missing the ends of lines. Kevin Hallis has not missed any. Yes, mate. Yes, mate. So maybe a bit of Junior Walker, a bit of a sing-along, a couple of sing-alongs. I think Stella's made it traditional now that we end Saturday night with Do I Love You. So why not? I can't see any problems or drawbacks with that idea. And what about How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You? Before that. Same boys again. Oh no, it's not. This is an interim band. It's Birchie again anyway. It's Birchie, it's Neil Fairclough, and it's Brian Hargreaves. Yeah. Right. What do I need? I need this and that. Dancing shoes on. Someone's arms, and there you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and my downs, and there you were. It's the love and devotion, deeply touching my emotions. I wanna stop, thank you, baby. Yeah, I wanna stop, thank you, baby. Come on, everybody. Wondering where would I be without you in my life. Every day was just a bore. Seems like the things I did I've done them before. 'Cause you brighten up all of my days with a love so sweet in so many ways. I wanna stop, thank you, baby. I wanna stop, thank you, baby. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Okay, this is for you guys. This is for the health workers and the frontline heroes and the people who sell us the food and drive the food to the shops and look after us. The police, the fire service, the whole 9 yards. Do we love them? Here I am on bending knees, I lay my heart down at your feet now. Love you. All you have to do is ask how good until there's nothing left now. Love you. As long as there is life in me, your happiness is guaranteed. I fill your heart with ecstasy forever, darling. Now do I love you? Indeed I do. Do I love you? Tell me now. Indeed I do. Early morning till late at night, I fill your heart with purity right now. Do I love you? Brother, baby, man, happiness is guaranteed now. Do I love you? As long as there is life in me, your happiness is guaranteed. I fill your heart with ecstasy forever. I'm bringing on home safe to me forever, darling. Now do I love you? Do I love you? Do we love you? Did we do? Did we do? Yeah, one more time. Do I love you? Do I love you? I do. We love you. We love them. We clap them. We love them. We appreciate them, and I appreciate you. And thanks so much for spending another crazy evening down the snake pit, down the Zen den, Hey on G. Tomorrow night it'll be more like Hey on G, the temple of peace and calm. The music will be flowing more gently. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Eamon's back with us. Christian and Pat, David Petrie. My people. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Oh yeah. And give us a thumbs up if you can. And if you're not already subscribed, we love subscriptions. We're trying to get to 1 million, aren't we, Joe? Massive thank you to Joe. He's quite old now, 17. Nearly a man. Can't get a provisional license. Locked down. That sounded like the beginning of a haiku. We just had the one haiku. We had a stellar haiku today. I'll find some more for tomorrow. I've really enjoyed your company. Oh, Craig Rose. Hi, Craig. Hi, Diana. Thank you for being with me. So we'll have a chill out session tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And spread the word. We love to see more people. It's great. Let's fill this village hall. Thanks so much, guys. See you tomorrow. Or if not tomorrow, then next week. Same deal. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You guys take care.